Welcome, everyone. First of all, I want to thank my Aunt Marty for making this happen. I'd like to recognize Leslie for all that she did, all the planning that she did to make this happen. And I think there's a lot of other people behind the scenes making this happen as well. And
No, it was all her.
it was all her? Okay. It's all Leslie. Wes.
How about that jacket, huh?
Hey, happy night. Happy night.
Color coordinated.
Thanks for stealing my speech. So, according to Wes's calculations, 45 years in the Air Force, I was 8 years old when I enlisted.
I said 35.
So I had a lot of communication with Leslie leading up to this. She called out to ask me to make a speech, and immediately I felt humbled and honored to do it, that they would choose me to do that, and it's an absolute honor. Now the pressure's on because after you all heard the conversation with Leslie and the waiting staff, I'm what's in between you and eating. So bear with me here, because Leslie called. I don't know if you ever. Leslie's kind of a task man. She makes sure people stays on task, right?
Learned it from
So
your
she
mother.
called me. I live in
Learned it
Iowa.
from
She
your
called me.
mother.
She's like, "Hey, how's the speech coming?" I said, "It's coming along." Well, I said. She said, "How long do you think it's going to be?" I said, "Probably 10, 15 minutes." She's like, "No, it's got to be longer." Seriously? She's like, "Yeah, and make it funny." And I'm like, "Okay, no pressure, cuz." So, here's my speech between us and dinner. Actually, this is my scriptum VA.
He'll be here all week, everybody.
I'll be at the Holiday Inn, actually. So when I was gathering my thoughts to give this speech to honor my Uncle Bill, it was kind of difficult at times from this sounding like a eulogy, and I was like, no, we don't want to go there, right? I mean, why do we wait till then to actually tell somebody how we really feel about them, and when it's, at that. So I'll tell you right now, this is not a eulogy, this is a birthday celebration of an incredible person. And in the next few moments, I hope that you'll share some memories, laughs, and maybe even a few tears with me. It's interesting when we visit a cemetery and observe the dates on the markers, judgments are made on someone's life based strictly on when someone lived. Whether they lived a short life or a long life, or they lived in an era where something happened and you think, well, they must have had a rough life or whatever, But let me submit to you that it's not necessarily the numbers on the marker that hold the story, but rather the dash between the numbers. You see, that's where the living is. That's the part that makes someone's story come to life and makes a difference in the lives of others. Billy Ray Biggs was born to Wesley Ray and Elizabeth Lizzie Biggs on the 17th of January 1941 in Terry, West Virginia. He's the oldest of 4 siblings, which include Brenda, Faye, and Bobby. I'm sure if each one was here, they could stand here for hours and tell you stories about their brother. But before we go any further, I thought it would be interesting to see what was going on in the world around the 17th of January 1941. So upon conducting a little bit of research, I discovered something. Uncle Bill, you're old. January 17, 1941 was on a Friday. It just makes sense that you were already born for the weekend. So not to make you feel old, let's just put this in perspective. So in a few weeks, on your birthday, on average, you will have slept for 9,767 days, or 26 years. Now, talking with my cousins here recently, I found out that you may have spiked that average up just a little bit. You'll have been alive for 701,280 hours, which is over 42 million minutes. I told you you're old. In 1941, a car would cost you $850, and a gallon of gas for that car would cost 12 cents a gallon. You could become a homeowner for $4,075 and put a loaf of bread on your table for 8 cents and a gallon of milk for 34 cents. You could mail a Christmas card for 3 pennies. The Dow Jones Index was 111, and an average annual salary was $2,050 a year, with minimum wage being 30 cents an hour.
Wow.
Gold. Oh man, if we could just go back in time. Gold was going from $33 to $35 an ounce. And when I put this together, spot price on gold was $1,832 an ounce. In pop culture, Citizen Kane and Dumbo were the hit movies, and Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller was the hit music. A bill was passed that created the fourth Thursday in November as Thanksgiving in 1941, which is pretty cool considering how many Thanksgiving memories I have celebrating the holiday around the table with the Biggs family. You share a birthday with other notable people such as Chubby Checker, Paul Anka, Beau Bridges, Dick Cheney, Neil Diamond, Art Garfunkel, Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, Percy Sledge, and inmate number 5517, also known as Martha Stewart. It was in 1941 that Muriel Ralston, a descendant of old General Alfred Beckley himself, pushed a button switching the city of Beckley, West Virginia from operator processed calls to automatic dial telephones. Mayor A.K. Minter dials the first number, 9286, the home of Beckley Chamber of Commerce President E.G. Larrick. I thought this was quite interesting seeing how far we've come in 80 years. At the same time I was researching this, I was video chatting with my son who was deployed to the Middle East with no lag time in real time, halfway around the world. So just an amazing thing. So I guess the Jetsons cartoon had it right after all. During my research, I read where your specific generation, unlike years past where parents decided what teenagers would wear, became fashion conscious. Now let's hold on for just a minute. Looking around at these pictures, I mean, I have to give you credit. You were it, man. You did have that James Dean look. I'll give that to you. But I've got a question for you. Well, what's the deal with all these pictures with no shirt on? Did you just get the camera out on wash day? Or you seen the camera out and the shirts had to come off? So the big question is, how many of us are going to have a picture from tonight without a shirt on?
It is the Villages.
Drive-in movies and drive-in fast food gained popularity, which, by the way, the vintage King Tut Drive-In in Beckley, West Virginia, opened its doors in the early 1940s by the Tutweilers and is still open today. Just a few months ago when I was down there, I had lunch there with my mother, and she told me some stories about it. And these places set the stage for the iconic 1950s and early 60s, and I'm sure Bill can share some stories